can record. Okay, so today we are going to make some hash browns. What do we need for that? I'm making hash browns for one person. I am using 2 potatoes and a small piece that I had, some green onions for garnish, pepper, salt, and some oil, and also some cornstarch. Okay, let's get started. First things first, peel the potato. We don't want the skin of the potato as it can be a bit bitter, so we are going to just take it off. Let's do the same for the second one. And these are just raw potatoes. We don't cook them. It'll get cooked when we make the hash browns. So all right, next step, I'm going to put all this aside. We are going to grate these potatoes using a grater, the bigger side of the grater. Grate. This is a very boring part of the video. You want to fast forward this. All I'm doing is grating potatoes. Here are the grated potatoes. Now the potatoes inherently have a lot of water in them, so we are just going to take a small amount of potato in our hands and then squeeze out all the water. You can see how much water comes out of it. This is a very important step because otherwise your hash browns will get very soggy and they won't be as tasty. So what we're going to do is transfer this onto another plate, and you can see how dry it is. That's very important. I think doing this will cover your arm workout for the day. So that's 2 in 1. Arm workout and hash browns. That's a good deal, I say. Alright, just going to keep doing more of the same. Now, it's possible that we can use this liquid for something else or just give it to the plants. Doesn't matter. If you think you're going to make a soup or something else in the other part of the day, you can use it for that. Or something that you want to bind because it's just potato water. There'll be some starch in it. Almost done. This is the last remaining grated potato. I'll make sure I take everything. Give it a squeeze. There you have it. All done. Now we're just going to keep this water aside. We don't need it now. Okay, now we're going to wash my hands. And we are going to add a few things to it. The first one is some green onion. You can put as much or as little as you like. If you have chives, that also works well. But today I'm just going to put some green onions. Now I'm going to cut all the way to here, but not these ends. So that is not part of what I'm going to use today. Again, that can be used for something else, so keep it aside and use later. So I use 3 stalks for the potatoes that I grated today. So here they are. Just add it to your grated potatoes. And you're also going to add cornstarch. What this does is it helps to bind the hash brown together. So I am going to put 1 and then 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Now for some pepper, I'm going to put half a teaspoon of pepper. half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, and we're just going to mix this up gently using our hands, our fingers. We don't want to over mix it, just make sure it's incorporated fully into the grated potato. Now we're ready to make the hash browns. I have a pan or a skillet, I should say, and I need some oil. I'm going to put a little bit of oil and grease my skillet. This is mainly so the potato just doesn't stick to the bottom. And I'm just going to brush it on the entire skillet. I'll wait for it to warm up. Now the size of the hash browns is up to you. I'm just going to make a kind of a medium pancake size today. All you do is take a good amount of this mixture in the hand like this and put it on the plate and spread it. Spreading is important so it cooks well and it cooks fast. Now I don't know if you can see it from there. You might want to come here. I think that would be a great idea. You can see how the shape is up to you. I have one kind of like a circle, one a square. It really, whatever you like, whatever you fancy for that day. So you see I've spread it kind of evenly on the skillet. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of oil and go all around and a little bit on the top. So I go all around and a little bit on the top. And I am also going to cover this. So a little bit of steam is generated and it cooks everything. So that's what the covering does. It creates a little bit of a steaming effect to cook the potato. Now the flame is kind of, I would say, just like medium. We don't want to overheat the pan. Then what will happen is it will burn and it won't cook well. And it won't be tasty, more important. So patience is key. And I'm also going to have a spatula ready so I can flip this over. Let's see. How do you go? As you can see, I just covered it for maybe 25-30 seconds. Now you can see how it beautifully comes over. Just flip it, pat it down a bit. Let's do the same for this. Flip it, pat it down a bit. We just wait for it to become crispy and brown. In the meantime, I'm going to get some cheese ready so I can put some cheese on top of this. So today we're going with Mexican style cheese blend, but you can basically use any cheese. I wouldn't recommend Parmesan cheese. You want a melting cheese. So you could have jack cheese, cheddar goes well, or the blend. If you have, all you have is mozzarella, that works also. Alright, time to flip it again. And I'm going to add just a little dab of oil. After all, if you want something crispy, you have to put a little bit of oil, but just a little is enough. Doesn't need too much. You'll see that the sides start getting golden brown. The top is golden brown. That's a sign that it's almost there, ready for the next step. Sometimes I move things around just because this portion is heated more than this, but yeah, you can see how it's nice and brown everywhere and also on the sides. I would say that this is quite ready. So what I'm going to do now is going to add the cheese. And you can just reduce the flame on this skillet. Take a little bit of cheese, spread it all over. And you can make it as cheesy as you want. You can also add an egg. Anything works. Today we're just going to do cheese. A sunny side up with this would be yummy as well. Now, for the cheese to melt, I am going to cover it back again because the little steam that gets generated will melt this cheese. It's just a little trick to melt cheese quickly. Let's have a plate ready. So you can see how the cheese is melting. I think it needs a few more seconds. Looks good. I'm just going to carefully take it, place it on the plate, and voila, ready for consumption. You can have it with ketchup, hot sauce, just like that, doesn't matter. So I'm also going to do this process one more time so you can see it. All I'm doing is taking a handful of these potatoes, the mixture, and spreading it on the pan. Now, if you're afraid that this pan is hot, feel free to turn it off, do it, and then turn it back on again. That's okay too. Okay. So, the key is to spread it evenly and maybe just a layer. That's what helps the potatoes to cook fast. So now I'm going to increase the flame a bit and take that little bit of oil and go all around it, and a little bit on the top, all around it, and a little bit on the top. And we repeat this process till our grated mixture is done. Enjoy! Bye bye! Let me know how it turns out.